These votes were 100% taken on issues of health, safety, sanitation, and crumbling infrastructure, lack of planning, and the neglect of pretty much everything around the city while this mayor's been in office.
Only weeks before the election, Waltham Police and Fire Union slammed Mayor Jeanette McCarthy, claiming that she has ignored complaints about substandard working conditions and inadequate equipment. The three unions, which represent roughly 300 city workers, announced a vote of non-confidence in the mayor at union headquarters Wednesday night.
Morale is at an all-time low. Our buildings are falling apart. Our apparatus, not all of our apparatus, some of our apparatus, our back-end apparatus, is in very poor condition.
And this is politics. This is actual election year politics. They all have contracts. And no one has raised the issue of conditions.
This is the operations area of the police department.
Earlier in the day, Sergeant John Brooks of Waltham Police took us on a tour of the police station on Lexington Street, which dates back to 1964. Mold growing in vents, inadequate change rooms for female officers, cruisers in need of replacement.
You can see clearly the mold.
A lady's jacket covered in mold, an antiquated furnace, disgusting carpets, and equipment that doesn't work.
We actually sent 40 pictures at the time back in late 2011 of the conditions of the station and the cruisers, where even one of the cruisers, a mechanic over at the city garage, had his hand up in through the frame. It was so rotted.
For Waltham Fire, similar concerns. Animal droppings, rat traps outside Moody Street Station, leaks, rust, and claims that equipment and engines are not in working order. It's important to note that Fire Chief Paul Ciccone has disputed some of the claims that fire engines are not working. A sinkhole caused by a fire engine over at the Prospect Street Station still hasn't been repaired.
Collapsed 2 years ago, still hasn't been fixed. We can't park fire trucks on it. So these issues have made us very frustrated.
Jeanette McCarthy is a great person. She has a good heart. I personally get along with her. However, her priorities is way out of whack.
The mayor said that she's got to keep the taxpayers in mind.
I appreciate my police and fire, but I also have a job to do for the taxpayers, and that's what it comes down to. And sometimes you have to say no. I can't promise the world. What I can say is, will we follow up with the stuff? Yes.
McCarthy said that she spent millions on police and fire facilities since she took office.
For the fire department, we've purchased 5 engines, 1 ladder, protective gear, outside protective gear, communications. There was a large grant that the fire department had received.
In 2013, she laid out $500,000 on well-received plans for a new police station. But the project got stalled at the city council, which wanted to explore a consolidated police and fire station. She also has to take increased salaries from new union contracts into consideration.
The base pay of a firefighter is $69,000. So after 18 months, that does not include all of the extras for details and college credits and all of that. So we try to remain competitive. We have more firefighters than most of the surrounding communities.
Although all the union contracts were settled this year, the mayor ties the current union action to unrealistic salary demands made by the fire union during negotiations. She outlined those demands in her first campaign flyer.
All of this stuff coming at the last minute, within the last 2 weeks, because in fairness, it wasn't until my flyer went out saying what the status of the union contracts and what the issues were that all of this stuff.
She's trying to deflect, saying it's that the greedy cops and firemen, it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with our working conditions.
So is the union action political? The vote comes only weeks before the November 3rd election. And Union Rep Steve Centafonte admitted that Firefighters Local 866 has endorsed McCarthy's mayoral opponent, Tom Stanley.
None of this is coordinated with the candidate or anything like that. Like, again, this is getting back to the timing. It does seem conspicuous and all that, but again, all these topics that come to a point. This is what everybody's talking about now.
I don't have anything personal against them. Are they trying to get me out of office? Yes, obviously, because they got promises that they're going to get better. They're going to get this. But once you're in there, you know, it's one balance. You need to balance everything.
For Waltham Newswatch, this is Chris Wangler.